Now, if they uphold the opinion that the law was too vague, that was written by the FCC, the head of the FCC a few years back, that net neutrality can fall into the hands of the providers, then the next step is that the president's going to get involved. It's going to
Welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 41. This is Doc Wandre. Here with me today, I've got Mr. Fusion.
Hello, everybody.
Miss Ray.
Hello.
And her cat. He might make another appearance. Chaos Mana.
Hello.
We once again have Lo Zelda joining us tonight.
Hello.
And Sweetman.
Hey, guys.
And last, because he interrupted my intro the last podcast, we have Tejan Lee.
Hey.
I'm surprised he didn't try again this time.
I was half expecting
I
it,
was
honestly.
gonna be nice. I'm gonna do it at random
it was
intervals.
kind of
do
like
the
a-
same joke 2 weeks in a row.
Well, yeah. Well, I told that 37. This is TFT number 37.4 joke like 4 weeks in a row, and that wasn't funny anymore, so I stopped doing that.
And we need to give a shout out to Master Keg, who looked like he was hoping to join us tonight, but he was just a little too late in the game, so Master Keg, this shout out goes to you. Maybe next week.
Fusion, this is your chance to just taunt him for the rest of the podcast, because now,
I'm
you
not-
guys,
I'm
now
not-
you guys
oh
have a
my
rival.
God.
A rival.
Yes, you've started a permanent rivalry. You're gonna actually have to do a wrestling match in the middle of the panel.
Yeah, I'm actually a trained wrestler, so I can take bumps. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that, but
Now, when
in
you say
college, I actually trained for a few months at the
Hold
Shawn
on.
Michaels
Let
School
me
of
get my
Wrestling.
beer before you start your story.
I'm not going to tell the story. I'm just going to.
Aw.
No, you're gonna tell us your.
as a
backstory
trained
right now.
wrestler, do you mean like Olympic
was your
style
wrestling
wrestling
name? No,
or like
professional wrestling, that type
WWE
of stuff.
wrestling?
What was your luchador name?
I didn't have a luchador name. I
What
only
about
went
a
to the school.
nachador name?
I
Senor
went to the school
Fusion.
for 3 months, and I just learned how to take bumps, basically. And you know how they say, "Oh, it's all staged and it's fake and it doesn't hurt."
It
It
still
hurts. It hurts like hell. So when you see a guy getting punched, of course, yes, there is some fakeness to it. The punches are not real for the most part, but the tosses and the falls, those are real and
It's
those
all
hurt.
it's all orchestrated, and that's like the whole importance behind the hits, because
Yeah.
you have to learn how to go with the moves.
Well, and
it's
here's
just-
a little tidbit about the wrestling world. Did you know that the bad guy in a wrestling match is the one who basically calls the match? He's the one that orchestrates the match.
I thought that was the
Oh, yeah.
referee.
I had no idea.
No,
Referee
no,
sets the
the
spots.
referee, he keeps track of the time that the match is supposed to take. So when a match starts, let's say you're in the middle of the card. By this point, you know where you are and how many matches you have left. You say, okay, well, the next couple of matches, the most important ones get the big, larger chunks of time. So when they go out to the ring, the referee tells them, okay, you got 5 minutes, guys. And in the middle of the match, he'll say, bring it home, which means just finish it up. Do your
Does-
finishers or whatever.
Doesn't he throw the blood packs at him too when they have to start bleeding?
No,
Blood
those
packs?
it's called.
Oh no,
taping.
that's what wristbands are for, right? They hide
Yeah,
their
they
hide their
actually
blood
it's
in the
tape.
wristbands.
They tape. They have white athletic tape. They tape around the wrists about 3 layers, and then you put a razor blade above the 3rd layer, and then you put a little quick layer over that razor blade. So in the middle of the match, you kind of you fall down, you take a bump, you look like you're in a big pile of shit. You pull off the tape, take the blade, and just cut your forehead. So that's
We are
what you're doing.
we are tearing down the curtains around
Yeah.
this right now.
Yes.
You guys just ruined
But,
it for me
The
entirely.
bad guy is the one that actually calls the match. And if you watch it on TV and you have the speakers turned up or have headphones on, you can hear them calling. Usually the good guy will call his own spots too, but the bad guy is the one that dictates. He's the one that orchestrates the match. Where it's going, like he'll throw the good guy outside of the ring and say, "Okay, we're going to do this," and then, "All right, throw you back in." He's the one that pretty much dictates the match.
Do you think it would be
actually
so
hear
much
him,
more-
like what is he saying? You can actually hear him say.
You can hear
things,
if you have high def headphones on or you have your speakers up and they're really good speakers, you can hear them. Like usually when they kind of like grab each other and when their heads are near each other, you can usually, if you listen closely, you can hear hip toss, suplex, and that means throw me a hip toss, get up, and then grab me and give me a suplex. I mean, they have like short terms for everything too.
Do you think it would be a lot more fun to be a bad guy in that
Usually
career?
is.
I'm
It
sure it
actually
would
is.
be.
When
Who
is
wants-
it not
who wants
more
to-
fun to be the bad
Who
guy?
wants to be a face?
Let's see. The face is the guy that usually has to do the most touring with media, and they actually make the most money. But the bad guys get the fun job, though.
Dude, bad guy's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's usually how it is in movies too. The bad guy is always the more interesting character. Oh, I suppose not always, but usually in a good movie.
Usually
Well,
it's the
like
bad
Darth
guy
Vader.
who I like, who might be a little more interesting, and sometimes the good guys just seem way too cocky.
Well, it's like in the movie, the Thor series. No one thought that Tom Hiddleston as Loki would be so. I mean, he is the most popular character in that series.
Even though he gets like the least amount of screen time too.
I like
No.
Kat Dennings.
Like he does a whole lot with that little bit of time that he's on screen.
Yep, he does.
He's
What do you guys think of Thor 2?
What?
What did you think of Thor 2?
I liked it.
I
I
want to
haven't
see
seen
it.
it yet.
Neither have I.
It'll be out on Blu-ray in 2 weeks on the 4th.
Are there any screeners
really?
out yet?
Are there any what?
Screeners out yet on the pirating
There's
circuit?
screeners, but there aren't any torrents of the Blu-ray rip yet.
When does it come out on? If it hasn't already on Netflix or something like that.
February 4th.
Oh,
It's
got a little
actually
bit of time
it's
to
actually
wait.
digital download on the 4th, and I'm sorry. I think the 31st of January, digital download on Google Play and iTunes, and then on the 4th is when it hits Blu-ray.
Okay.
Good, because that was one of those movies I didn't get a chance to see in theaters, but I really wanted to. Now, I'd say a movie that I did recently see in theaters that kind of was interesting. It was a good movie, interesting, but a lot awkward. Was Her. Anyone see those
Her?
previews?
I've never even
No,
heard
but
of it.
they talked about it on the Rooster Teeth podcast this week as well, so it's one I
got-
definitely want to watch.
Yeah, it got nominated for like five Academy Awards, something like that. I don't remember which ones, but
It's only
It's
been out
about-
for 2 weeks, but now it's apparently a Golden Globe winner.
well, it's been nominated. It's
Well,
not won.
what's it out? I mean, yeah, what's it
It's-
about?
It's about this guy who wears old man pants, and
That's important.
it is important.
Yes.
It's distracting throughout the whole movie. He wears the ugliest pants.
They are
He's
too
really-
tight.
And he's getting divorced from his wife, and he winds up falling in love with his sentient operating system.
That's
As you do.
like how?
This,
Yeah.
this
It-
is
yeah.
this is where a future where this is acceptable,
So
right?
how is this operating system become? Did he like program an AI that took off, or is it just
No. It's a
existing?
commercial. It's a commercial operating system, and the operating system just happens to be voiced by Scarlett Johansson. So
Oh.
Of course.
Alright, so I guess number one, I do not think it's completely unreasonable to think someone would fall in love with Scarlett Johansson's voice. Well, let's just be honest. Number two, this sounds like every breakup I've ever seen with any dude. You break up, you divorce, whatever, you go to your electronics. I feel like they just gave it a voice and they called it a movie.
I don't know how it could be that good, but if it's suddenly popular.
It genuinely was a good movie, but it was also incredibly awkward. It was one of those movies that really makes you stop and think. And like the most awkward part was well, there's several awkward parts. The first awkward part towards the beginning is he's lonely, lying there in bed, can't sleep. So what's he do? He calls one of those 800 numbers where you can have phone sex with random strangers.
Sure.
And then the chick that he's talking to, like,
Obviously.
is like, oh yeah, you're touching me here, you're touching me there. Now there's a dead cat on the floor. Pick it up and choke me with it.
Nice.
And,
Wow.
yeah, and then
He's into some
you
weird
hear her
stuff, I guess.
climax as he talks about choking her with the cat. I'm like, that's really weird. I was watching it with my best friend Danny, and we're just stopping, looking at each other with this weird, disgusted look on our faces, like, this is really happening. I mean, you can't see it. It's all dialogue that over the headset. But like, this is serious shit. Okay. And so that was awkward part number 1, and then there was a similar awkward part number 2 the first time he and the computer have sex, where it's pretty much like phone sex.
How?
Wait.
How?
Wait.
Yeah.
Stop. Rewind.
I want to
Zelda's
see this
confused.
movie so much.
Let's take a step back.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can see how this movie makes you sit there and you're wondering, you're thinking to yourself, what the hell am I doing in this theater? But you don't have the willpower to just get up and leave. You need to watch where this is going, despite how awkward it is. And I don't want to call it a genuinely like sweet movie, but it is a genuine movie. That's what I liked about it through the whole thing. Like it knows what it wants to do, and it doesn't like get lost in its own message or anything. So I would give it a recommendation. Just know what you're getting into, because it's weird. It's a weird movie.
So this isn't one of those where I go to the draft house, order a beer and a burger, kick back, and I'm ready for a wild ride, right? This is one of those where I should probably watch it at home.
Yeah,
it's-
if you're
it's
just
a
like
very-
bored, looking for something to do.
It's a very slow movie, and it's very character driven, and the main character is weird. His ex-wife is weird. What is that super hot chick? She was in Tron as well.
Olivia Wilde?
Olivia Wilde, she's in it. She plays this psychotic chick that he tries to hook up with for a night. Like, even she's incredibly weird. And it's just full of weird people. It's a weird movie with a weird premise that makes you feel very awkward when you're watching it, but it makes you think. Not so much feel things, but it makes you
Does
think.
it?
Yeah, because it sounds completely.
Does it make you think about how weird a phone sex line must be to call?
Not really. In the context of the
You're gonna
film, it makes sense, and his relationship with the
Does it?
AI makes sense because she's sentient. It's not just it's Scarlett Johansson's voice, so it's like a sexy voice computer.
Do they actually explain how it became sentient at all?
Like it wasn't struck by lightning like Johnny
No.
5 or anything like that, right?
It was designed to be a sentient program, a sentient operating.
Yeah, it's like a
system
normal
itself,
thing.
But yeah, it was part of its original design.
Uh-huh.
This whole movie just sounds like everyone lost a really bad bet, and this is what they had to do at the end of it. It's just, you're going to be the awkward phone sex operator, you're going to be the awkward person on the other end of it, you're going to be the awkward person divorcing all
it's got
this.
some
You
pretty big
obviously
names in
haven't
it,
seen
though.
Movie 43 then.
What?
I have not.
Movie
no.
43.
Oh no, I haven't seen that either.
I think I've seen that.
It's so bad, but it's so funny.
No! Yeah. It's, oh my gosh. And then there's the inappropriate comedy or something. Done by
Inappropriate?
the ShamWow guy. It's amazing.
There's a ShamWow guy in this movie.
No, the inappropriate comedy was directed and made by the ShamWow, Vince the ShamWow guy. Who was
Huh.
like put in jail for beating up a hooker or something.
She
Yeah.
also beat the shit out of
Yeah,
him,
you need to
though.
watch that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if
she
you saw the
fucked him
pictures
up.
of that, but it was a pretty messy situation all around.
The inappropriate comedy. Okay,
Yeah, it's similar to the movie 43 sort of thing.
gotcha.
It's bad and good in the same way.
I was really
Sweet man.
confused when I saw movie 43, to be honest.
Oh, you saw it too.
What's that?
I want to see this movie now.
Her?
I want to see this movie now. No, movie 43.
Oh yeah, it's I think the first part in it maybe is with Hugh Jackman, and he's going
Oh,
out on
no.
a date,
Okay, Winslow.
and like he has testicles in an inappropriate place, and like they're going to dinner, and he's like this big famous guy, so like everybody is like normal, and they don't mention it at all, except his date is like, I think it's Kate Winslet.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's Kate Winslet.
She's like she's just super like confused and awkward, and like I don't really understand this whole thing, and like she's really weirded out by it all. And everybody else, they're like, you have a something on your chin, and he's like, oh, and there's like some food there or something, and so it's that was just sort of the setup for it, and I just, after watching it, I was like, huh? It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite with less direction.
Wow. Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite was one of those really odd movies that at first I hated, and then I kind of loved it, and then I wound up hating it again.
Oh yeah,
I feel like the only thing the director did during that movie is set up the camera and go, act.
yeah.
Yeah.
and then that was it.
Yeah,
It does have some
I
pretty
didn't-
quotable lines in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
for
really
sure.
like it as much. It wasn't that bad once they got into it, but I still don't really like the Napoleon Dynamite.
My favorite part in that whole movie, two favorite parts anyway. I'll tell you what they are. The one where the uncle, I think is the uncle, the one selling, going door to door trying to sell stuff.
Uncle
And he's-
Rico.
Yeah, and he's got that ship inside the bottle, and he's trying to sell to that one couple, and the wife, she looks at her husband and she points at it. She goes, "I want that." and just the way she says it, I love that part. And then the other one is where he's got that the leftover food that no one wants to eat, Napoleon, and he takes it up to the llama. He's like, "Tina, you fat lard,
come eat your
the
ham."
food." I guess my sister and I will quote that one back and forth when we're getting ready, when we're cooking something.
Give me your tots.
God.
Sheesh. My lips are really sore.
You know, that's probably one of those movies where it's funny even though there's not a whole lot of comedy in it.
When it ended, like the first time I watched it, and I think they like kind of walk off into the distance, I was kind of like, "Is that it? Is there like nothing else?" Like,
when it was done, I'm like, "What the fuck did I just
yeah,
watch?
exactly.
And why?"
There was no moral, no resolution.
No.
They just started playing tetherball, and that's
Yeah, yeah. They like start
No,
the movie
I
in the
did
middle
like
of
the way
nowhere.
it started. Well, yeah, because it started with like some grandmother jumping a four-wheeler over something, didn't it? Or am I getting my movies?
That's kind of it's not at the beginning, but it's early on. Yeah.
Okay, I thought
The
that was
the reason why Uncle Rico comes back is because they're living with their grandmother, and she goes riding sand buggies, and she falls off and breaks her arm or her hip or something. I don't remember. So Uncle Rico comes to take care of them. That's what starts that whole deal. And it's very sad that I remember all that.
Yeah.
I was sitting here
When's the
being
last
pretty
time
impressed.
you
Like,
watched it?
damn, he remembers
What's that?
all that.
When's the last time you actually watched it?
It's been a long time. See, I remember. Okay, this is a little quick story. One of my mentors in radio, not a mentor, but one of the guys that helped me when I got started in radio. I started in promotions where you kind of just lug shit around and go to these stupid events. I wanted to do production, and this guy Preston Lowe worked for a local hip hop station in my CBS cluster of stations, and he helped me get started in production. Well, he passed away a couple days ago. I didn't know that until today. But anyway, it just reminded me in 2004 was when I worked at CBS, and then Napoleon Dynamite had just came out, so everyone at that station would not fucking stop playing the movie ad nauseum, man. It was, go, come eat your ham, come eat your ham. And it was just nonstop. So the quotes stick in my head. So.
Fair enough.
I also
do you
liked.
still cringe at their mention?
What's that?
Do you still cringe when they're mentioned?
No, I have no problem with the movie. At that point, at that time, I was kind of like, okay, enough with the quotes, but whatever. I mean, it's a decent movie. It's not like blow you away funny. It was different from the other kind of comedies that were out.
That's true.
I think it's destined to go down as like a cult classic.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. Yeah. Hey, and Sweetman, was it you that I was talking to in the forum earlier today about the whole 10
Oh
yards?
yeah, I love that movie. I watched it like
You're
3
like the
weeks
only
ago.
other person that I know that's seen that movie.
It's so awesome.
Has anybody else seen that movie?
The sequel to The Whole Nine Yards?
Yes.
No, I
I
have
didn't
not
know
seen
there
it.
was a sequel.
The worst part of it is when the guy from the whole 9 yards, like the bad guy, I can't remember the actor who played him, but anyways, in the second one, his dad gets out of prison and comes after everybody from the first one, but they use the same actor, and they just like gave him a bunch of makeup and put a wig on him and like a mustache or something, and he uses this terrible accent the whole time.
It's one of the it does a good job of self-parodying itself, but it's still really funny. I actually saw the whole 10 yards before I saw the whole 9 yards, and then the whole 10 yards made a lot more sense to me after I saw the whole 9 yards. Lozelda, you've been very quiet. Before we start asking Mr. Fusion about the big news in the video game world, what's your favorite movie?
I'm a big fan of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I have to say that's one of my favorite go-to movies, and shortly behind that is Fierce Creatures.
Score.
So,
What's Fierce
God, I
Creatures?
can't get people to watch. Yeah, I was wondering
Fierce
that too.
Creatures, it's a lot of the same people who do the Monty Python stuff. So it's a very dry humor kind of thing, and that's kind of my realm, sarcasm and dry humor. So
Is it Terry Gilliam? Guy directed it, wrote it.
I don't know. I could say yes, I could say no. I'm going to be guessing either way. I have no idea. I'm not the kind of person who pays attention to that kind of stuff. I just go, I like that movie, and it has faces in it that I recognize, and then it's all good.
It was John
That's how I
Cleese
watch
that wrote
movies. Oh, really? He writes movies?
Apparently.
And
John Cleese.
I had no idea. I thought he just, appeared in movies and made those big eyes that he likes to make when he overacts. Or like in Rat Race, where he also has those super white teeth. So he does the big eyes and smiles a creepy grin and has super white teeth. It's like, I'm eccentric. Oh. Like, dude, that is so creepy.
Why would you do that?
Wait, is that the Mr. Bean guy?
No, that's Rowan Atkinson.
No.
I'm winning the race.
I hope I win.
I hope I win.
That was I almost peed myself the first time I watched Rat Race.
As
The
he was
the first time I saw the Hitler scene, probably I was like 12, and it's probably the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. I think I shit myself when I watched that scene.
Came out.
Did anybody else watch this? Do you know what he's talking about?
Rat Race?
I
No,
think
I
I
have not
saw
seen
it,
Rat
but
Oh, yeah.
Go
not
watch
enough
this
to be a part of the conversation.
With
All right.
Seth Green.
Pause the cast.
Rowan
Everybody go watch.
Rowan Atkinson
Yeah,
is a
The whole
narcoleptic
cast
guy.
is-
Pause cast.
Yeah,
If
the
only I
entire
could
cast-
switch it to watching a movie, that'd be hilarious if we could all watch it at the same time.
That's your homework, guys. Go watch that movie. You will, you will probably piss yourself. It's so funny. Okay. I said we were going to talk about this earlier when we were talking before the podcast. What was this about? DayZ, Mr. Peter?
All right, so DayZ had the standalone DayZ had a update, a patch today, and it looked
Day
like
Y?
it was pretty big. What's that?
Day Y.
Day Y, yes. Day Y. Bad joke, by the way.
Everyone laughed.
So, no, they laughed at my grunting. That's what they laughed at.
That works.
Well, anyway, so they had a patch today. Well, I guess with this patch that was implemented, all the servers not only did they restart, but they basically wiped. So everyone lost all of their shit. So I was in the middle of a weekend-long, trek across the map where I ended up near the airfield, fully loaded backpack, gear, guns, everything. I log in this evening right after work, and it's all gone. All of it
I
gone.
would be pissed.
I was pissed because the only thing I needed next was a tent, and I could. Here's a euphemism: pitch a tent. No, actually, it's not a euphemism. I literally was going to pitch a tent, and store all my goods by the airfield. It's gone. All of it's gone. It's gone. I mean, I understand they want to make corrections to the game, and it's still in the alpha stage, so there's a lot of bugs in this game. Trust me, a lot. But
What's the biggest bugs you've run into then?
what's that?
What's the biggest bugs you've run into?
There are times where you fall into the bottom of a house and you get stuck. Like
That's
it falls.
embarrassing.
Like if you're in a if it's a house that's on a second floor, like you walk up into the house.
You just
Sometimes
flip
you'll
through the
fall
floor?
into the basement and there is no basement. It's a glitch and you're just stuck. You can't get out. The problem is that you can't reset. You have to wait for the server to reset in hopes that it moves you out of the house because. If not, the only way is to die, but there's no way to die because a zombie can't get to you.
Wow.
So you have to
I-
wait for yourself to starve?
Yeah, pretty much. You just have to just sit there and starve to death, and that can take a long ass time
I haven't
because you're
seen
not
a
moving.
bug like that since Elder Scrolls 3.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I had the World of Floating Doors in Elder Scrolls 3. So
There was
many-
you didn't even have to be indoors to get that glitch in Elder Scrolls 3. There were certain places where you're walking around outside and suddenly you're just falling through the ground. You're like, oh look, weird.
Oh, yeah.
This is weird. And then there's water everywhere when you fall through the ground. You're like, hey, I'm standing in water, but I'm not drowning, and the ground is up there. Whoa, okay.
It's kind of like in Battlefield. I see guys like standing beside me in the campaign who are like half stuck in the ground or whatever. They're still walking along beside you, or like they're suspended 6 feet over your head.
Yeah. You're like, something just isn't right here, and I can't put my finger on it. Oh wait, yeah, I can. You're floating. God damn it! Stop it.
Yeah, there was this one glitch where a guy was floating, like, looked like he was flying. He was just swimming around in the air in circles, and he was the quest person that you were supposed to talk to, and off he went into the sky.
Now, I don't know if this was a glitch or if they did this on purpose, but in Elder Scrolls 3, because you could actually levitate in the third
Yeah.
one. So if you're using a levitation spell, or no, not a levitation spell. Oh, no, yes, it is a levitation spell. A levitation spell, and there's this scroll there that you get from this dead guy that falls out of the sky.
The
it's like-
scroll of Incarian
Flight, yeah.
That one.
If you're using your levitation spell or a flying spell, and you use those, the flight spell, and you put on the boots of blinding speed, you will soar through the air so fast that you can't actually land. You just kind of run into either a mountain or a building or something, and you die. Just dead. And you hear your character go.
Well, it's kind of like in DayZ, the character movement's not very fluid, so you have to be careful because if you're on a rooftop or you're somewhere like a balcony, if you're running too fast or moving too fast, you'll just like run through the barricade and fall to your death. There was one time where I started playing, and my first run, I got a giant. They have several different size backpacks. Found the largest one. Found a gun. Found an axe. In DayZ, the first things you want to get are drink some water, find water and food, and find a weapon, which is hopefully an axe, which is probably the best hand weapon, or a bat if you need to.
What do you start with?
You start with nothing. You start with jeans, a t-shirt, tennis shoes, and a flashlight and batteries. That's it.
At
And
least
the
they have
prob-
the decency to give you batteries.
Exactly. The problem is that the loot in the standalone does not respawn until the server resets.
How often
So
are server resets then?
that's the funny thing. Some guys reset their servers every 20 minutes to be cool about it. Some people do it every hour. Some do it every 2 or 3 hours. So it just depends on whatever server you're on. You just have to read the descriptions, and they'll tell you, 20-minute server restarts. It's a bit of a pain in the ass because you get kicked out, but there shouldn't be any issues. You should spawn where you were last with everything, but all the loot's there again. That's the main thing.
Oh, there's another buggy game that has big news coming out. Give you a guess what it is. It's
I'm
from
gonna say
It's from EA.
The Sims.
SimCity?
SimCity, the new SimCity game. And
Okay.
guess what its big news is?
Let's see.
It has multiplayer that works.
Let's see.
Don't look it up. You're cheating.
I'm not looking it up. I'm thinking. I don't do that. I'm going to say
Waiting for
my,
Google to load.
microtransactions.
No, believe it or not. The big news is offline is coming.
Finally.
Yes. They said that they're going to keep the online for those few people that like it, but the big news is that there's going to be a huge patch and it will be offline capable.
See, isn't that weird how
Finally.
like it's like the reverse where that's the normal way to play, and all of a sudden like, oh, we're actually offering offline play. Isn't this crazy and amazing? And it's like, where was that 6 months
Yeah.
ago?
I'm actually really excited about this because I don't know, those of you that knew how much I played SimCity 4, I modded the shit out of that, and that's what they say anyway was the driving reason why they decided to do offline mode was so that the massive communities of SimCity modders can do their thing without interfering with the online gameplay.
I think it has to do with upkeep of the servers. They want to
I'm-
minimize that cost.
I'm pretty sure that's the real reason too.
I think it's because they want to sell more games.
But
No, that's not one of EA's
it's gonna be
driving
nice.
principles. They don't really care.
Because once that patch is implemented, then you can play ripped versions of SimCity.
That's one of the reasons
I
that they
think-
did that in the first place.
I just
Well,
think
and they-
EA. I think this is EA's way of just saying we fucked up, even though it's taken 6 months for them to get the. I think
Oh,
it's
it
just
was longer
stupid.
than that.
Has it
Yeah.
been longer than 6 months? Really?
I think so. Yeah.
I just find it ridiculous that just now they're saying, okay, we can go offline, but this whole thing stems from they wanted to protect their copyright. That was the main thing, and I think they realized, oh wait, for everybody, for the millions, the tens of millions that are going to buy this game, we have to maintain servers, and these people play all the fucking time. God damn it, this was a bad idea on our part.
Well, and all the people that have to call tech support, they have to have a shit ton of people on tech support because they have all these damn problems.
Mm-hmm.
So between server maintenance and the support for the server maintenance and all the bugs...
You logged a shitload of time in it, but you probably logged maybe like 1/16 of what the people in Korea play.
That's racist.
I'm up to 270 something hours now.
I'm sure that's like I said, 1/16 of the time you logged in.
How many hours are in a week?
I don't know.
192? Wow. Okay.
I think we did this a few podcasts ago if you want to go look it up and listen. So.
Yeah, my time for SimCity is right at the same time that I stopped playing Skyrim. Like, it's right about the same amount of time.
Well, speaking of, have you seen the Morrowind mod for Skyrim?
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it at all.
Skywind is the group. They're doing a Morrowind mod for Skyrim, and it looks awesome.
Looks even better than... Yeah, I have the mod for Morroblivion, but the Skyrim version is just so much better. Oh.
Yep. That's why I love Bethesda, because they just, they're like, fuck it. You guys do it. Do whatever you want to do to the game.
Yeah, they're cool as shit with their fan base. They know what you want, and they're like, okay, yeah, do it. We'll support you in it.
I really love games that like Minecraft throwing in a mod folder. I really think a lot more games should have that as an option, so that it make it easier to maybe not cheat mods, but just mods that make the game more helpful or interesting.
It's longevity for that particular product and for that brand. You're gonna stick around. You're gonna buy any DLC for that game because you've invested a lot of time into it beyond just the original campaign.
God,
so
I wish
this looks really good.
That Minecraft had a time ticker for how much time I've spent on it. It's got to be embarrassingly long.
I bet if you had actually saved the logs that the thing runs, you might see the time started and time stopped. But yeah, that would probably be huge for me.
I got Minecraft on my phone, and it is terrible. So hard to do anything in that.
You should have known that you were doing wrong when you bought it on your
phone.
I
figured something that I can just kill some time with when I'm, stuck somewhere waiting for stuff to happen. But it's so frustrating because I try to break a block. I can't do it. I gotta spin around and go all
Help me out.
How do you do that? You tap the screen?
Yeah, you
you
hold the screen to break blocks and whatever else.
Is there virtual buttons that you put your thumbs over?
No. It's basically you tap it to use whatever's in your hand, or you hold it to try to break stuff.
Oh, that'd be annoying.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. And Go ahead.
Do you guys generally like mobile gaming or tablet gaming or anything like that?
Not really.
I'm not against it.
I can't stand playing games on my phone.
No, this is the thing I have to say though. If the game is designed for a mobile platform, I'm cool with it because it's.
But those games are boring.
Well,
those games are boring.
Those games are meant for not for gaming. Gaming to have fun. They're just meant for gaming while you're standing in line. You're doing nothing else, but you're not enough time to really get into a full game. So just play it for fun.
But there's a lot of games that are time sucks like that. There's real time strategy games.
Chaos. I disagree with that because the problem is that we are moving away from computer gaming, console gaming, and it's all mobile devices because the lowest common denominator, they're the ones that they're trying to sell to. And those people think, oh, I can do everything on my tablet and my phone, including playing games. I don't need to have a PC. They're not worried about. They don't want to get immersed in the gaming experience, kind of like we do. They want to have something that's entertaining, that flashes and beeps and moops and shit happens for a few minutes, and then they can just go about with their day again. So those of us that play mods, that do all types of intense shit with our games, we're going to be left holding the bag. Watch.
Well, I
Oh,
think
it's
I
so
think it will
depressing.
continue to create a division, just like there's always been a bunch of people doing the like lighter stuff like Nintendo, and then a bunch of people doing the higher end stuff. I think it'll be a driving force, but at the same time, there's always going to want to be people that are just bored with mobile games and want something more, so they're going to hang on as like the fancy things, like the Oculus Rift, I think it's called,
Yeah.
the
Virtual
like
reality.
virtual reality.
That
We're
thing's
going to
pretty
get
cool.
more stuff like that, where we're actually in the games
I-
while they're still.
I think
messing
one
with
of
their
the-
phones.
I got to try one.
I think one of the
I've
coolest.
got something to share with you in the link. Here, look at this. It's called the Large Pixel Collider.
I think one of the coolest things with like console or PC and tablet crossover is for Battlefield 4. You can download a battle log on your tablet and play as like a commander in servers on your tablet. So even if you're like away from home, like I got half an hour to kill over my lunchtime or something, I can pull out a tablet and play on a couple maps as a commander in Battlefield. You're still like earning all your points and progression and whatever else, but you don't actually have to be sitting at home with your TV and your Xbox or PlayStation or
That's
PC
pretty
or whatever.
badass, actually.
I want that.
That's a pretty smart way of integrating into the mobile platform. Well, isn't Eve doing something kind of like that? Eve Online, where they have a ground-based battle
Oh,
thing.
God.
I could see
Eve
them doing
needs to be
that.
put to rest, man. That place is dangerous. That game's dangerous.
It will never die.
How so?
Well, you just read all the stories about people embezzling tens of thousands of dollars from idiots, and it's just sad. Every time I read an EVE Online story, it's just sad.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you don't really play. You occasionally check in on it to make sure it's playing itself properly, and then you just let it do its thing. It's the strangest fucking thing I've ever seen. Ken tried playing it, and he even got confused and like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I just have to walk away from it for hours at a time while it does its own thing. Like, okay, I won't be playing that anytime soon. So did you guys get the link down there of the large pixel collider,
Yes, I
that
want
gaming
that.
supercomputer?
I did see
I
that.
want that.
And I watched them build it. I saw a video where they were building that thing. They said that it can do better than 4K resolution. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were claiming it could.
Yeah, with 4 GTX Titans SL Lite, I would imagine that they can hit 4K. It's just purchasing a TV that's 4K is going to run you quite a bit of money, and then the problem is that there's no media out there that pushes 4K.
Did you see the
Netflix
new
is gonna
options
have
on
one.
YouTube that there's two above 1080 that
Yes.
you can select on some videos now?
You can watch the videos that these guys make using the large pixel collider in higher than 1080p resolution now. I saw a couple of them on Netflix. Of course, my TV's only 1080p, but my internet was fast enough to stream it in better than 1080p.
So does it actually make a difference unless you have a TV that can support it? Because I couldn't
No,
tell.
It doesn't make a damn difference unless your TV can support it.
64 gigs of RAM? Jesus.
Yeah, they weren't fucking around.
That's like 60 gigs more than you'll ever need.
Well, that you'll ever need
I-
for another 3 years.
No, the one thing about system RAM is that's not going to be the case for a while.
And do you see how big that thing is? If you're looking at the picture on the
Yeah.
page that I sent you, the
He's
CD-ROM drive up there in the upper right-hand
he's
corner. of it,
standing
Holy
next to it,
smokes.
and this thing looks like a giant server case, like a medium-sized server case.
It's fucking
ridiculous.
huge. It
Oh
is.
my god, so awesome.
So would it be just very, very loud with all like the fans needed to cool it down?
Well, they're using some high-end fans, so probably not.
Oh.
I mean, it's gonna. I'm sure the Oh my god, I can't believe they're doing 4 Titans SLI. That's just redonk, man. That's sick.
How much does one of these cost?
Probably about $8,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm just taking a guess based on the water coolant system.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they're rating like 10 SSD drives, 64 gigs of RAM, 4 of those cards. Each of those cards probably runs about $1,200 to $1,300.
What's
for
the
just one of the
storage
cards.
space?
It doesn't, They don't have the storage space on the
There's
specs.
a 4
They,
terabyte hard drive.
They put in a 4 terabyte
4
hard
terabyte
drive, I
hard
think.
drive. That's weak. But that's the storage. The system drive, they're just running 140 gig solid state drive.
Yeah. Which that's the way I would have done it. I would, do solid state for the operating
It's
system.
480.
Just have a-
Okay, I take that
480.
back. It's not going to be $8,000. This is probably like a $3,000 computer. I'm looking at the CPU, 1, 2, the case, probably 1,000, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think it was at least 5,000.
Yeah. Because the hard drives aren't that expensive in the grand scheme of it. They have a simple ViewSonic monitor. The water coolant's not too expensive, but yeah, man, this looks badass. I like the case, just the case alone, man.
The
It's
case
huge.
is sexy, isn't it?
That's badass.
I
It
love you,
really is.
Tejan Lee.
Ray and Tejan Lee kind of feel left out.
No,
Yeah.
I think they're doing their own thing in
Banana
the
tree.
corner.
I'm just sitting here drinking. It's fine.
Me too.
I
What do
need
you think about
booze.
all this, Lo Zelda?
I think it's shiny.
It's got colors.
Yeah, it does have color. Yes.
It does stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
Looks powerful, I guess.
Yeah, so Lozelda, tell us, because you were very quiet with the whole talking about video games thing. You're on Rooster Teeth, of course, but do you play the video games?
I do. I just don't play the games that you guys tend to talk about, so I just kind of sit back.
Well,
What
Lozelda,
do
how
you
do you
play?
expect to be incorporated in the conversation with that attitude? Tell us what sort of games you like to play.
I don't know. I definitely grew up a Nintendo girl, so I'm obviously a Legend of Zelda fan, hence the username. And I love the
Obviously.
Metroid series. And I didn't have anything else until I got married. That's the running joke, because that's half the reason I got married is so I could have an Xbox.
Nice.
Because I inherited that. It was great. So, until a year and a half ago, I didn't get to play Halo or anything like that. So it's always something I had played at friends' houses, like in their basements or whatever, and I knew I wanted to play them. I just didn't have the systems for it. So I have a massive back catalog of things I'm trying to get to. I just don't have time because I have that whole, real life adult responsibility bullshit that I have to deal with, so...
Yeah, that.
And you still got to beat Fez.
And I still have to beat Fez. I'm working on it. I have no idea how far into it I am. I'm getting there, and I've decided...
How many parts do you think it's going to take?
Depends on if I think I'm just going to go until I get to whatever... I don't know when this game, ends, quote unquote. I don't know if there's, a finite end point, or if it's literally 100% completion is the end.
It goes forever.
So it blinds
It's when you save the princess in the one castle.
Okay.
I think.
So, yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have decided it's a lot more fun, and I feel like I'm better at it when I have a couple drinky drinks. So, the part that's coming out this weekend, this is so far my favorite part, just because I'm mostly hammered while I recorded it, and I feel like I'm just much more entertaining when I've had a couple drinks. So, at the very least, it'll be fun to listen to, and I'm sure at some point I'll either get to the end, or I'll just kind of, give up and hope that no one notices.
What system is Fez on? I've wanted to play that, but I never
I think it's
actually
on
bought it.
It's on arcade for 360. I'm not sure if it's on PlayStation.
Yeah, I know I'm doing it on Xbox 360 Arcade, and I downloaded it there because right before Christmas it was $2.49, and I'm like $2.50. I'm like, I have to try it for that.
So on your YouTube channel, you go from sewing to playing Fez.
Pretty much, yeah. So I've had a bunch of people, because I do cosplays and whatnot, and I've had people ask me for tips on how to learn how to sew, and there's somebody who's actually asked me specifically to walk her through a particular project, so I'm making videos for her and sending them to her, and I'm like, well, I'm making these videos anyways, I might as well put them on, jazz them up a little bit and put them on the channel for anybody else who's ever asked me, how do you begin to learn how to sew? So...
Huh. So
Very
what's
cool.
your current project that you're working on for cosplay, or do you have one right
I do
now?
not currently have a cosplay. I've got 2 other sewing projects going on, so I'm putting costuming kind of on the back burner for the time being. Some people saw Kara tweeted it. I made a Memories of Key backpack for RTXs last year, and Kara had actually asked me to make her one. So I finished that right before Christmas and sent it off to her. So that was really.
Do you have pictures of
I
it?
do have pictures of it. I've got.
Are they on your profile?
There are some. They were in a journal. I don't think I loaded them to my profile because I didn't want to duplicate them places. There's a picture of the finished one for sure on my profile. I'll have to track down where the rest of them went, and then I've got the picture that Kara had posted of her with it because she was super pumped about it. So that was really exciting. So is someone eating popcorn? What is happening?
I'm opening a giant envelope. Excuse me.
Why are you opening
So
a giant?
so I'm doing.
I just have a visual of a giant, like this huge envelope.
Yeah,
like
I
one of
imagine
those
one that's like
checks
as big
for
as-
charity.
Adult stuff comes in adult-sized envelopes.
Oh god, it's Tejan Lee's
Yeah.
blow-up doll.
That's not a sound. It should be making.
It's my 401k information, but thank you.
That's disgusting.
You have sex with a 401k?
Correct.
Paper?
Oh no, the 401k has sex with you.
I do not even know
It just
how
kind
to
of
respond
bends
to
you
that.
over, doesn't it?
Yeah, seriously.
It takes me out for a really expensive dinner in about 45 years.
Well, this is
In 45 years.
this is sufficient.
Okay, I have a question then. Are you planning, Lozelda, are you planning your cosplay outfit for what will be announced this Friday by chance?
Depends. So I'm hoping to be a guardian for RTX this year. So if I get to be a guardian, then I'm doing that. If I don't get to be a guardian, then I'm...
Why would
Denied.
you want to do that?
But
Why would
because
you want to do
I,
that?
I went last year and it was a lot of fun, and I would just like to see it differently this time.
I can't
Application
imagine what would be
denied.
more worse than being a guardian. Sorry, Fusion.
See, every guardian,
Yeah, Fusion like had to run off every time. We barely even got
Every-
to say hi.
I didn't
every
even get to
guardian
say
I
hi.
talked to said it was a ton of fun, and they had it was a lot of work, but there was a lot of fun.
They have
Well,
to.
they
They're
might be, I
lying
don't
to
know.
you.
I think they're
Yeah.
lying to themselves.
We signed a non-disclosure. We have
They're
to-
like those abused girlfriends of those pro
Stockholm
athletes,
syndrome.
where they're like, every time that they get hit, they're like, I'm in love!
This just took
Don't
a really,
judge
really
me.
dark turn.
It's my
It's like, I
fault.
swear,
didn't
I can see
fold the
Bernie over
towels
there. This
just
must make it
so."
worthwhile.
Yeah, so don't listen to them. They're abused little bitches that just like to be pushed around. You're
You know
way
what?
above that,
RTX
Zelda.
would not
Way
succeed
above
without
that.
those people. Those
Join
people are
us
so,
on
very
our
Oh, see,
important.
that would be.
Panel instead.
I've got plenty of plans.
Yes.
If I don't do the Guardian thing, I've got plenty of backup plans for other things. There's other people who are talking about doing panels they want me to show up to. And last year I spent my time trying to meet people, and it's like this year it's like I want to. If I'm going to just go, I want to go to panels. I just want to go to every panel I possibly can squeeze in and have a good time with that kind of thing.
That's kind of what I did the last RTX. I just went to as many panels as I could get into, the ones that didn't have super long lines. So I managed to squeeze into a few more than I thought I would be able to, just because I picked the most unpopular ones because they were the fastest to get in and out of. Oh. I was the only one in our podcast group that actually got to see what the Bronies panel was. That was pretty unique. Like, so I've got to say I had the most unique
there you go.
experience, I think. And one of the panels I went to actually was a woman that does cosplay costumes. Only she's like a metal worker, and she makes a lot of the heavy duty
awesome.
costumes. And it was just fascinating listening to her talk about how she constructs these things and then wears them, moves around in them, and then I don't remember what she says. There's a guy that you have to have that follows you around to make sure that that you don't
That
die
sounds
inside your
exciting.
suit. Because a lot of the really complicated
Yeah.
suits you can't see, all around you. So they have to kind of make sure that you can walk where you want to walk. Or if you start to overheat, they have to know how to get your suit off of you. That way you don't have
Definitely
a heat
not the kind of
stroke.
costume I'd be doing. I'm traveling alone for RTX this year, so I don't want to have to go to some random stranger and be like, "Excuse me, if I fall over, it probably means
No.
I'm dead. You should do something about that."
Yeah, and so you don't build any of those costumes that has to have like the air intake.
Any
Fans
costume
or anything like
where
that?
I
Like
have
liquid
to employ
cooling?
a buddy
That'd be
system
interesting.
is not. That's too much for me. Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna stick with my
It's a little too
light
complicated.
fabrics and things like that. I
Do you
usually
do
do props that
as
go
well,
with the
or
costumes.
just
I
the
don't do anything like
costumes?
huge or like massively heavy duty. So like the last cosplay I did one of the Zelda versions from Skyward Sword, and so I made the little harp from it. If anybody's played that, the little goddess harp, I made one of those out of insulation foam. And it was funny because people were kind of jerks. I was
I
really
never would've
impressed
guessed you
by
would've done
like
Zelda.
my own handiwork because I'm cool like that. And all these people were like, "Oh my god, can you actually play it?" And I was like, "Well, no, it's not really playable." And everyone's like, "Oh," and like be really disappointed. Like it's not cool because you can't actually play it. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! This looks good." It's
It's a damn prop.
You
I
should
made it
have put like a
myself.
little speaker and a button that you just press, and then
I'll
you
tell
put
you what,
you
I will
move your
send it
hand
to
and
you,
it
and
makes
if you can
noise.
figure out how to put that into it, by all means go for it. My expertise ends in electronics. I can fix things that already exist. I'm
Challenge.
good enough with the solder gun for that. I cannot build that kind of crap from scratch. There you go.
There you go, Chaos. You've got a challenge. Ooh, excuse me.
Any other questions about my sewing adventures?
Oh,
Try
right.
this.
No, I was just curious because it kind of ties into there is a bit of a major announcement that's supposed to take place this Friday.
RTX
Why
is
does there have to
canceled.
be an
Yeah, I thought that was
announcement for the
kind of bullshit,
announcement?
especially
Why
'cause
can't
I
they
feel
just
like-
announce it?
I feel there was a
I don't know why they gotta hype that
They want to
stuff.
make sure they have the biggest
That's
audience
gotta be what it is. I just
possible
think
at that
That's
particular
why.
time.
That's
Funny
exactly
'cause-
why.
It's a publicity stunt.
So how are they making the announcement? Are they going to post on Twitter? Or are they going to do a video, or what?
It'll probably go Twitter first, and then they'll probably do like one of those 1-minute videos.
It
It'll
better still
it'll
be
be
July
like their
4th.
welcome to RTX.
Well,
video.
hopefully.
It's not July 4th. Me and David are kind of
Do you think it's going to be an announcement plus release
know
of tickets,
they're-
or like the tickets are going to go on sale?
No, they'll probably announce that they're going to have a ticket announcement.
On Friday, the announcement takes place, and then they'll tell you the date when the badges go on sale. Also on Friday, the
Yes.
applications for Guardians opens.
But we can't tell you anything else about the RTX.
No, and they're being very hush hush. I think I've mentioned it before, and if she listens, then she's
Yeah.
gonna kill me. But I've begged for information, and I was told no.
Mr. Fusion was trying to sweet talk
She's good
Barbara
at
again, and
that.
she
I'll give her
shot his
credit.
ass down.
Yeah.
Do you call her? Do you call her Babs yet? You guys friends?
What's that?
Do you call her Babs yet?
No, I don't. No, we're not that tight, yo.
Yo.
We're cool, but we're not tight.
God,
But
that reminds me of bad street slang. What movie? Oh, the movie. I was on the treadmill the other day.
From the movie Bad
multitasking.
Street Slang.
Mind you, I was also doing my guild from my phone while on the elliptical at work, but I was
my God, I
watching this
love that
show
show
called
'cause it's
Property
so terrible to watch
Virgins on 8.
oh man.
And there's the black chick that's the host. Well, she's kind of black. She's very light for a black chick, but her name is
Her name is
not
Egypt.
India,
Really, I've never
but
paid
Egypt. Her
attention
name
to
is
that.
Egypt.
Yeah.
And her name is Egypt. And in this particular episode I was watching, at first I thought it was going to be a gay couple, but it turned out to just be two regular guys. But these two guys, they look very presentable, but they talk very ghetto, like not real ghetto, but just kind of ghetto. A lot of the gangsta
Yeah.
terminology. And it's funny because as the host of the show, that mostly white people watch, Egypt, of course, talks very white. And so she's acting like she doesn't know what they're talking about when the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a crib that's what's the word he uses? It's not fuck. No,
Dope.
I can't think of the word that he used now.
Funky
it's-
fresh,
It's pretty
straight up baller.
Now, this is what
This
you
is what I
get for
get for
trying
trying
to
to
tell a
tell a
story
story.
and not being prepared with it and like trying to search for
Dollar
the words.
bill, y'all.
We're gonna fill in the words until you come up with them.
Did I say dope yet? Dope.
Dope.
At least I'm not trying to tell the same story at the same time as you.
I've done forgotten my train of thought. Anyway, it was just funny hearing her like be confused with the terminology, and so they have to explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh, now I know what that means." And she laughs kind of like she's some sort of blonde bimbo. Like seriously, you don't know?
Well, it's the frosty side of her that doesn't get the culture, you know? Think about it.
Suddenly, it all makes sense. I had no idea. You have
I
opened
used
my
to-
eyes.
I used to watch Property Virgins, but it was when Sandra Rinamato was the host or whatever her name is, the Canadian lady. Those were
I don't know.
pretty interesting shows.
I really
They're
don't
funny.
care for the show. I like Love It or List It. That's my favorite show on that station, and it comes on Monday. So when I'm on the elliptical, I'm like, all right, I get to watch this show, and I don't know why I like it so much. I just
My
like
wife hates that show, Rental Properties, with that one guy that you can do renovations to your house and rent out space. I don't know the name of the show. I can't remember the name of the show. But anyway, she's like, I don't like this guy. She goes, he looks real fucking shady to me.
it.
No, that's.
But
just
she also says
racist.
the same thing about our president. So
She's not one of those that doesn't think he's one of the. She doesn't think he's not a United States citizen, does she?
No, it's not that. He just looks like he's shady.
How would you define shady?
He just looks like whatever he says. He's full of shit.
Because he's black.
No, it's not that at all. Has
His
nothing to do
skin's
with.
dark.
Come on, get real. He's half black. Come on, people. And they said we did it. You did it halfway, guys. You did it halfway.
Mhm.
No, she just didn't like that show. We used to watch Property Virgins a lot, and then I cut the cable because I just can't justify paying 60 extra bucks a month for something I don't watch. So
No, it's ridiculous. That's why I just stick with Netflix. Though with the whole issue of net neutrality coming up again, I'm a little bit concerned.
I know we talked briefly about that at the end of last week. I mean, people weren't talking enough about it. It could really be a scary thing that Comcast and Verizon and AT&T can limit what
I
you
don't
can
want
watch.
these assholes to be able to tell me what I can and can't watch on the internet that I'm paying for. That would just kind of destroy the whole reason of me having the internet.
But you know what will solve that whole problem? A la carte cable. I mean, if they would do that setup where you can pick your channels for a lower rate, we wouldn't have this
everyone
issue.
wants that. When I worked at Best Buy, I had so many people that would ask, because we'd have the DirecTV people in there, and then people would ask us instead of the DirecTV people because I guess they were creepy.
Mhm.
And they're like, so do you have to buy their packages, or can you pick what channels you want? I'm like, no, they have packages. You cannot pick your channels. Like, but I only want 5 channels. Why can't they just sell me those 5 channels? I'll pay them for those 5 channels. I'm not going to pay for a whole damn package. I'm like, I hear you. I'm with you on that. If I could only pay for the channels I wanted, then I would only pay for the channels I wanted. But they're assholes.
It has to do with your provider, your IP, whoever your provider is. Who do you have over there?
The company that I'm with just leases the lines from the main provider. So it's a little bit different, but like you get a lot better rates when you do something like that as sort of like one of the smaller independent ones, and a lot of the it goes along with the phone companies because they run both of them, like cell phones and landlines and cable. It's all the same companies for the most part, and there's been a big sort of hubbub right now because there's basically like a big 3 group of companies that control everything, and recently we turned off the analog TV service. So now it's all like digital, but that entire patch of the spectrum, like the radio transmission spectrum, is opened up now, and so I don't know right now how it's been resolved, but there was this whole thing about like a big they were going to auction off parts of the spectrum to the different companies, but the big 3 were kind of trying to like bully all the little guys and the smaller providers. So that you go somewhere that's kind of remote. There's not a ton of service as it is right now, but the big guys are still charging like city rates for crappy service in these like little rural small town communities.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, so there's a big sort of conflict, I guess, with that, and I'm not sure how it's resolved or where it's gone. I haven't really been following it lately, but. So it'll be interesting to see because a lot of the stuff, like policy things that happen in the States, affect Canadians as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of falls, to us as well.
Yeah, what more than likely, what's probably going to happen is that since this was upheld in, I forgot what district court, this next is for this to be seen in front of the Supreme Court. Now, if they uphold the opinion that the law was too vague, that was written by the FCC, the head of the FCC a few years back, that net neutrality can fall into the hands of the providers, then the next step is that the president's going to get involved and it's going to help work with the FCC to basically rewrite those laws to prevent this. That's what they're saying.
The providers have to be controlled. That's You can't give them
Yeah.
that type of power.
Well, no, because they also control the media, like
Yeah.
Medium, because Comcast owns NBC Universal. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you have with all the TV companies that there are out there, there's only like 5 big companies, and they all the little pieces of them all go back to those 5 big companies. And
Yep.
yeah, that's a big problem. That's the only thing that's been saving the internet, is that they have not been able to control the content that you can see.
Yep.
And if that's taken away, oh hell no, that is just not going to work for me.
Well, last year or the year before, when Netflix was re-upping a lot of their contracts with the movie studios, there was one in particular that was basically trying to strong-arm the other studios to say, we need to put up a fight that, we can't let Netflix rule this. And, of course, that was Universal Studios, which is owned by fucking Comcast. It comes full circle.
World.
It comes full circle. So if there is this lack of net neutrality, and it's left in the powers of the provider, then everybody should be very afraid, because Comcast has a history of being assholes about things.
They will fuck you over without even thinking twice about it.
Yep.
But I do have a question now regarding to this with Google Fiber. That is Google considered its own provider?
Yes.
With fiber?
Yes.
That would.
Because it is not coaxial cable. It's not
Yeah,
a
they own the
satellite feed.
lines.
It's fiber optic line.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
The biggest thing
So-
comes down
that
to
would be
who
cool
owns the
with-
lines.
I could be cool with that would be like the only saving grace, I suppose. If net neutrality did wind up becoming a thing of the past, I could see Google stepping in and be like, "Oh, look, you assholes! I'm going to give everybody exactly what they want, so you can all fuck off or jump on the bandwagon."
That's why I still respect Google, because yes, when any big company is going to do things that aren't going to appeal to everyone, but for a large company, they seem to have this mindset of the person that's paying our bills should have the decisions, can make the decisions. We shouldn't be making it for them. So, with Google Fiber, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's several setups. You can purchase, it's like $140 a month. You get the gigabit internet, fiber optic internet, and you get the television service and a box. Now, you can actually get a very cheap version of it. I think it's a free version of the internet, and you pay a one-time setup fee of like $500, and then I think you pay for the monthly rental of the modem for the fiber optic line, and it's basically free.
Other than the modem.
That's going to be ridiculous. When it hits Austin, you're just going to see those people just eat up the data like nothing. Oh, and you also get like a free terabyte of storage space in the cloud, I think.
Yes, Google has been very impressive to me, even with they've also been very committed to environmental awareness, which you don't see any other big company like them doing either.
Yeah.
They try and they'll reuse wastewater to cool their servers, or hydroelectric power from a dam, and not only use the water from the river to cool their servers, but also use the power generated to power their servers. It's really impressive the amount of thought and ingenuity that goes into a lot of their buildings. And holy shit, why aren't other companies doing this?
Yeah, but they scare people, conspiracy theorists, because they buy up these companies, like they bought up Nest, and they try to get all this data from people. They want the consumer data. It scares people. It's like, well, then they're gonna, one company's gonna know everything about me. Well, you know what? It's the internet. All of your shit's on, your whole fucking world's on the internet.
And
without you
China
knowing
and
it.
China knows it already.
Well, and Korea knows it too. Shit.
Hell, I'd be more worried about Facebook. God.
Oh yeah.
With what they do with your data?
Yeah.
I would almost be willing to just willingly give Google all of my information versus giving it all to Facebook.
Well, because Google's trying to tell you what you want to buy. They're not selling your data off. They're trying to help themselves make money, through where you're surfing, what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's
Facebook, they're just selling the data off. Let's be real.
Google reminds me a lot of
have
Bethesda,
reputation
actually,
for
with their business model
Yeah.
and the way they interact with their users. Instead of having fans, they have users. Well, I guess I would say I'm a Google fan, I suppose. Like they're with the product that they're producing. Like I appreciate their product, I appreciate their customer service, and I appreciate their fan service to their customers. It's a very smart business model, and it's kind of like what Bethesda does with their games. They're like, sure, do what you want. We're making this for you. We're gonna make money off of it. You're gonna have a good time. We win.
Yep.
Whereas Time Warner Cable's more like the EA of the internet world.
Well, Time Warner Cable is helping us out right now because we haven't had one dropout this entire time. So,
I use Time Warner Cable right now too.
I used to work for them
now we
doing
will.
Prices.
I used to do tech support for them.
Oh God, I have Comcast.
Yeah. We had actually when I started working there, Comcast and Time Warner had just like reorganized their, I don't know, geographical divisions or something. So we got a whole bunch of Comcast subscribers, and there was a bunch that went over to Comcast. So it was actually pretty funny. Like most of the people that called that were Comcast provider or Comcast subscribers a month or two before that were so relieved. It's like most of our problems. It's like, yeah, you just do this, or you know, toggle this switch or whatever, and stuff starts working again. And
just kick it.
Yeah. You get. I mean, I've got stories for days from doing that, and I only worked there for about 2 months. So.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's not the best demographic, the people that call tech support, but.
Oh God, yeah, I know about the people that call tech support. That's my life now. Oh. I had a good laugh today. Oh, I had this poor guy. I was helping him set up his account. He's trying to connect his Twitter account. It was his company's Twitter account, I mean. And they just changed the login information, and they'd sent him a password via email, but he didn't know about it. And so, like, I'm trying to explain to him how he's supposed to do it, and it's not working, and it's not working. I have him clear his browser's cookies and cache. I have him restart his browser. I have him open Twitter in another page just to test to see if he can log in, and that's when we found it. Oh, yeah, I don't actually know my login credentials. Like, okay.
Why is this the guy running the company Twitter?
I have no idea. So then he yells to someone in the other room, and they're like, there was an email about that this morning. You didn't get that? He's like, oh, let me check the email. Oh, here it is. Okay. And so he types it in again, and he's like, I've just been locked out of Twitter for the next hour. I guess I'm going to have to call you guys back.
Well,
man.
Too many failed login attempts.
I had a guy one night who I as part of like, you know, your initial, okay, check this, do that. Yes, you know, just check your cables, make sure everything's plugged in properly. He's like, yeah, it's fine. So I keep going through troubleshooting. And you know, we're checking this and checking that, and everything points to his modem's not connected to his computer. Everything. And so after about 25 minutes, I'm kind of like, all right, man, like, I know you already did this, but could you do me a favor and just check one more time, just unplug and replug in your internet cable. And so he, I guess, goes behind his computer. He's like, oh, yeah, the cable's out. The cat must have got back here and knocked it out. I'm like, wow, you could have saved me half an hour here.
Yeah, see, in my office, I act as the first line of IT defense in my office before we call the IT group. And usually it's, my computer won't work, and I walk over, oh, wow, I fixed it. What'd you do? Powered it off and on.
Yeah, power cycle.
That's usually the first thing you just say, power cycle.
Yeah,
I like to think that I'm good with tech support.
I don't go to tech support unless I've already turned it off, turned it on, reset it, done everything I can think to do.
Yeah, it's the last line of defense you do, right? You don't go there right away. You do everything you can think of, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to call the damn tech support. I get people that call in like right away with the dumbest shit. I actually talked to someone today who called in asking for advice of what to do where it wasn't even related to what we do. She does reviews of books and stuff like this, and she asked us, she's like, I'm seeing another website that's copying my reviews, and they're saying it's from me, but they're not providing a link. What sort of legal action should I take? I'm like, did you post it through us? And he's like, no, it's on my website. I'm like, well, why are you calling our tech support?
Because it is someone to talk to.
Tech/legal support.
Exactly, someone that can answer their question.
So I told her, I'm like, well, From what I know, based on internet rules, you need to give them a cease and desist, and if they continue, then you need to contact your lawyer and pursue legal action. But that's just my personal opinion.
You know your boss could have written you up for that, right? You're not supposed to give legal advice.
I actually asked my supervisor if it was okay.
Is talk to
I'm
your
kidding.
lawyer giving legal advice?
Yes, it
No.
is.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, you'd be surprised the kind of lawsuits that are filed. I mean,
Oh,
just
wow.
ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's
asking
starting
to
to get like that up
get your lawyer, then you just get your lawyer because they said to go get your lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to give any advice. Like, if you're not a lawyer, like if they call my office asking for any advice, the only person that can tell them any type of strategy, who to call, what to do, is the lawyer. That's it. So, like, if I have a legal assistant, one of my staffers, like a legal secretary, she works for one of the attorneys. If she goes and tells the client, okay, well, you know what, we're going to have to file this and this and this, so, you need to just move out or have her do this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She can get in, she can't get in trouble. The attorney can have a malpractice suit filed against her. Because that can't happen. If, let's say, let's say it's a family law matter, and we represent a client in a divorce. If our client calls and says, okay, my ex-wife's doing this and this and this, she's crazy, she's got the kids, blah, blah, blah. If my legal secretary that's in my office, my staffer, tells the person, okay, well, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 and then I'll have the attorney call you. Well, she cannot give that strategy. She can't give advice, because if he goes and does that, and then the judge says, okay, well, you weren't supposed to do that, so I'm taking the kids away from you, he could turn around and sue the attorney for malpractice. So I'm joking about the talking to the attorney. I'm kidding about that, but I'm talking about in terms of you cannot give strategic advice. You cannot do that. It's like, I mean, if you're a legal secretary and you're a paralegal and you've done this for a long time, there's ways you can work around that. You can finagle it, finagle the conversation, but you cannot give just flat out legal advice, because, like I'm kidding about Dark doing it,
Yeah.
because chances are that's not going to happen. But but this is, in this country, crazier shit will happen.
Oh, I believe it.
So, but it's just working at a law firm, you kind of pick these things up, after a few years.
Yeah, I'm totally confused. It could be the beer, but no, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't?
People sue for all kinds of crazy stuff. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
So basically, we're just gonna all plan to sue Dark because he just talked about legal advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. I'm ready to go read some comic books.
Yeah, so it's about quarter after
Oh,
now.
what are you reading?
Well, I downloaded The
God
Walking
damn it,
Dead.
TJ.
What?
Don't answer that question.
Tell me.
We're ending this podcast.
Let's see. Cable and X-Force came out today.
You didn't listen to me.
I'm not going to go into this.
Just go on.
Just that defeated. He didn't listen to me.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. Dark wants to go.
Thank you all for joining us on this fantastic night for the Forum Thread Podcast number 41. We will see you same time next week. Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us